Howdy, this is Fred, and today we are home again at Centennial Olympic Park. I'm going to talk a little bit about the park and also about what used to be here before the park was constructed. So let's talk about it. It's hard to believe that it's been 26 years since the Summer Olympic Games were held here in Atlanta. And of course that means this park is just over a quarter century old. It's gone through a few evolutionary changes since its initial construction. Monuments have been added, new pavilions, a lot of things to make it a little more interesting to the visitors of the city. One of the biggest changes that was made, that originally Andrew Young International Boulevard actually cut through the park all the way to Marietta Street to across the CNN Center. And then you could actually drive through the park, but now it's been completely blocked off and turned into a pedestrian walkway. And that makes it a whole lot easier for foot traffic, for visitors to go through the park and enjoy its scenery. Now, one of the things I do remember about this area before it was Centennial Olympic Park is that it was mostly kind of an industrial area. There was warehouses and production facilities, and two of the streets that ran through this area were Walton and Lucky. We're going to talk about Lucky Street first, which right now ends right here by the Ferris wheel, and that ends into the park. And then on the other side of Centennial Olympic Park, continued here, where it then crossed over Baker Street, right here where the Georgia Aquarium is now. Of course, the aquarium was not here at the time, but again, Lucky Street continued on, crossed Baker Street, and made its way north toward Georgia Tech. Well, speaking of Georgia Tech, Centennial Olympic Park Drive was once known as Techwood Parkway because it started at the campus of Georgia Tech, made its way south, and then west, where it ended at MLK Drive. Now right here I'm at the intersection of that street and Andrew Young International Boulevard, which has also gone a few name changes in itself. Before it was Andrew Young International Boulevard, it was just International Boulevard. But long before that, it was known as Kane Street. And at that point, it ran from Marietta Street all the way over into the Sweet Auburn area of town. Now the section from the downtown connector and into Auburn Avenue area, that is still known as Kane Street. Of course, this part right here is International Boulevard, or Andrew Young International Boulevard. And just like Lucky Street, Walton Street also cut through this area before the park was here. Right now we're at the intersection where Walton runs into Centennial Olympic Drive. And instead of stopping here, much like Lucky, it actually continued through this section of the park and made its way here, where it ran into Marietta Street at approximately right in this area, across from the College Football Hall of Fame. Now here's one personal sort of tidbit, a personal connection I have with this section of the park. A company I used to work for, their address was on Walton Street, right near the corner of Walton and International, which probably would have put it somewhere in this part of the park. Of course, they ended up selling their land and moving to a different location to make way for the construction of the park. We'll talk a little bit about that later on in this segment. Now here's a quick slideshow showing a little bit of the evolution of the area that eventually became Centennial Olympic Park. So as you can see, this area of town has had quite the evolution from its days of dusty industrial downtown streets to the pristine city park that we have enjoyed for the last quarter of a century. Oh yeah, one more thing, we're gonna get back. Remember when I mentioned that a company I used to work for, they were located over on Walton and International. And when they sold the land and moved to make way for the park, they ended up here at the corner of what was International Boulevard and Techwood Parkway. Now, that company is no longer here. Now, it's a Waffle House. Well, I hope you enjoyed this journey to pre and current Centennial Olympic Park. Till next time, I'm Fred, and we are home again.